Please, please, come in, have a seat. Much obliged, don't mind if I do. Well, I see here your name is Jeb, and you currently live in the southern United States, is that correct? Yes, sir, I lived down there my whole life. So, Jeb, I see you're interested here in the position of metal detecting assistant for Christopher's Over the Top, is that correct? Oh yes, sir, I love metal detecting. It's my best passion in the world is metal detecting. Excellent, excellent. There's a check mark there. So, Jeb, I'm just going to ask you a few questions, you know, for the interview process there to see how you're going to fit in with the Christopher's Over the Top team. So, just curious, how come you're interested in coming up to Canada for metal detecting, you know, when you're down from the southern states and, you know, you've been there for so long? Why would you want to make that move? Well, sir, I tend to make a lot of little boo-boos, and, you know, everyone in the, you know, down in the States, they're not very apologetic. They don't apologize with it. You Canadians are so nice. You're always apologizing to us, you know. It's fantastic how nice you guys are up here. I just don't get that kind of, you know, stuff from down where I am. So. Geez, Jeb, sorry to hear that about your people that, you know, you live around. I apologize for that, man. I'm so sorry. Yeah, sorry about that, man. That's terrible. So sorry. Anyway, how long have you been metal detecting, Jeb? Well, I've been detecting 12, 15 years. Most of my adult life I've been metal detecting. It's such a passion for me. I started kind of young, and I keep doing it. I just can't get enough of it. Well, excellent. That's a check mark there. So, Jed, how many metal detectors do you have? Oh, I got all kinds of metal detectors. To be honest, I got so many, I kind of lost count after I hit 20, so I'm not really sure how many I have, but over 20 for sure. Wow, that's quite a few detectors. There's a plus check mark on that one. So, Jed, how many gold detectors do you have, and you know, what types are they? Well, I got only two metal gold ones. I got the Garrett AT Gold, and I got the MindLab GPZ 7000. That's a good machine, let me tell you. It finds gold really. Yeah, the GPZ 7000, right, Jed? You meant GPZ, right? Yes, sir. GPZ 7000 MindLab. That's the detector. That's the one. Okay. GPZ 7000. Strike. Okay, so what about all-terrain, Jed? How many all-terrain do you have? Do you have quite a few of those, or the rest all-terrain? Oh, I got all kinds of terrain. I got terrain everywhere. I got all-terrain. I got tons of them. All kinds of all-terrain. Oh, wow, that seems like an awful lot. Can you carry on and elaborate a little more on the types of terrain that you have and all-terrain stuff? Oh, I got all-terrain for mud. I got all-terrain for snow, sleet, rain, hail, ice, cliffs, hills, you name it. I got just all-terrain everywhere. Those seem kind of specific there. Could you tell me what kind they are, like what type those all-terrain are? Just, because they seem really unique what they actually do. That's an easy one. I got me a big old Ford Raptor all jacked up about 4 feet off the ground, all modded out. I got dirt bikes, ATVs, I got a gator, I got amphibian vehicles, I can go in the water, I got ones with canopies, I can stay dry, I got some with heat so I don't get cold in the winter, I got all kinds of all-terrain. I got it covered. Jed, I was talking about all-terrain metal detectors. Do you have any all-terrain metal detectors? Oh man, I'm such an idiot. I always make that mistake. Oh, I'll never get a job. I'm just such an bumbling idiot. Oh, what have I done? Hold on, Jeb. Don't worry too much at this point. Just another question here. Would you be willing to use those vehicles? And actually, how many detectors can you fit on your all-terrain vehicles? Oh man, I got my gun racks all modified. I got them on the side of my truck. I could probably fit 25, 30, 50 in my Raptor. I could probably get 25 just on my Gator alone. I got all kinds of gun racks. They're all modified except all my detectors. Enough said. Welcome to the team, Jed. Hello guys, welcome to Over the Top. I hope you guys are having an awesome day. I know I've been having a good day and everything's always good. Glad you guys are here to watch the video. Remember to head down, hit subscribe, help support the channel. That'd be awesome. Alright guys, a couple weeks ago, on my tailgate of my truck, I tore apart the Garrett AT Gold to try to stop the chatter. It temporarily worked. It worked okay. I mean, the chatter wasn't completely gone, but it did continue afterwards. It came back. Not as bad as it was, but it's still there. Now, when I took it apart the first time, what I did is I actually I removed the ground on it because it seemed like a lot of that noise was coming from the ground. And I cleaned it up the best I could, but I didn't have any sandpaper or nothing to really get those contacts really clean. So what I'm going to do today is I'm actually going to tear down the Garrett once again, and I'm going to try to once and for all stop that chatter. So anyway, what I'll do actually first is I will try to get this thing fired up here for you, and we'll see if we can hear the chatter together, and then we'll go from there. First thing I'm going to do though is I'm just going to take the headphones off, get that out of the way first of all, and that way you can hear it. And then once I'm got this going, we'll go ahead and we'll take the coil off and get ready for the teardown. So let me just undo the headphones here. Give me a problem. Come on. I just had the waterproof headphones on here because I gave it a bath the other day to try to clean it up a little bit. We'll get those out of the way here. I'm not too sure if I have batteries in it or not. Yep, we do. So there's probably a little interference here, but I don't suspect that much. Let's turn the sensitivity down. See, it has quiet down when I turn the sensitivity, but I'm down like 4 notches down, and it's still popping a little bit if I shake it. Now there is you know what, I do have this kind of in the way of the coil. Let's move that out and see if that helps any. So that does help, but the sensitivity is way down. So let's turn the sensitivity up and see if we get it again. Yeah, see, there it is again. I'm not moving, and the numbers are jumping all over the place. I'll just get a shot of this. Hold me one sec. I'll show you what the screen is actually doing here. So here's the screen. As you can see, it's just going crazy. The threshold is on high. Let me just turn the threshold down a little bit, or the sensitivity. Sorry, not the threshold. My bad. Now it is quieting up a little bit, so I got to come down 3 just for it to stop. But what I'm trying to detect, it keeps reading these numbers. So yeah, so I can't run anything when I am using it now. I have to run with the sensitivity way down. Like I said, there probably is a little bit of interference in the house, but this is what it's like out in the field, so it's really no different, and it just gets worse. I mean, let's bring the threshold all the way down to 9. So as you can see, it's not as bad as it was, but it's still not good. So anyway, let me go back to the other camera here, and we'll just discuss it further. So just give me one. Okay, so just to eliminate, because I know it will come up, and if I don't mention it, and somebody will mention it, because I know, just to let you know, I have 3 coils for my Garrett, and I've used all 3 on here, and it's the same thing. So what I've done, just to show you completely, is I have disconnected the coil itself, and it's still, I don't even have to move it. So the threshold's at 0. And I'll bring it right down to sensitivity down again. So it is a little better without the coil with sensitivity down. I can actually come down like just 1 notch, but on full. But then when I move it, So somewhere inside it's not right. Something's just not quite right, and I'm still suspecting it's that ground. So we are going to go ahead, we'll take this down apart now that I'm out inside the house, and I can get access to better tools, and we have a better look at this to find out what's going on. Okay, so let me bring you on down again. We will get to this and find out what's going on and see if we can fix this issue and finish it and end it for good, so I can actually go back and use this a little bit with a little bit of enjoyment. Like I said, I've tried to use it like this, and yeah, you know, you set the sensitivity down so high or down so low, I'm not finding a lot of stuff, like a lot of the deeper stuff. It's only going shallow in the ground. And then if I try to bring it up, because the numbers are jumping all around, I don't know if it's an actual target or if this thing's just misreading. So yeah, it's really been difficult for me on this machine. I mean, don't get me wrong, I've been enjoying the Mind Lab, but I'd like to, you know, bring this out every once in a while and use it. So, okay, let's do that. Let's bring you in. Let's get cracking on this. Let's break it on down. Let's find out what's going on with it. Okay, so just to, one more thing just before I start taking it apart. I have reset the machine, and that does not work. You know, like I said, I've tried to change out the coils. I've cleaned up the, you know, underneath the coil cover. I've done all that stuff. It just continues to be a problem. It's something inside. So anyway, first thing you got to do is I'm going to remove it from the actual handle, and we'll get that out of the way. Just be a little easier without that in the way. Yeah, like I said, the last time I did take it apart, there was a notable improvement. But again, just a little bit over time, it just, cause I didn't use it for a little bit, and it just started acting up again. So I'm assuming there's just a bad issue with that ground. Like I said, once we get inside, I'll probably show you. When I touch the ground wire, it will, it just starts to make a lot of noise. And we'll have a look at all the other stuff as well while we're in there. Okay, so let's get rid of the coil, the shaft and the coil. Okay. So, you know, a lot of people are going to think right off the bat that you got to take these screws off. That's not the case. This is just for the speaker. We might have to remove it later once we get inside, but that's not what we got to take apart. I'm going to remove the batteries before we go in, just so we don't blow anything up. And I have changed the battery a number of times as well. So, okay, the first thing you need to do, the actual screws are behind the cover here. So we actually got to take this off, and you got to be very, very careful taking this off. I got a razor blade here I'm going to use. I'm going to try to get it off with that. It shouldn't be too bad because I've had it off once before. I may have to do some new adhesive because when I did give it a cleaning, it looks like some moisture did get in behind the actual screen itself. It's not inside, it's just in behind the screen. Or this plastic cover, the sticker. I'm not too sure about this razor blade because it might be a little too sharp for this. But we'll give it a try. Just take your time, don't rush this step. Make sure you get in there nice and easy and just slowly peel it up. Like I said, don't be in a rush for this part or you'll end up you know, tearing it or kinking it or... Okay, I'm going to try to get in there with a bit here. Oh, that came off quick. Probably because, yeah, you can see the moisture that got underneath the inside. Because I guess I was outside last time, and I guess it did get a little dirty in here. So what I'm going to do before I put this back on is I'm actually going to clean it up, and I'm just going to probably put some new adhesive just on the just to keep any moisture out from in there. It can't be good for it. I mean, it's all watertight, so no water was actually getting in there. It was just underneath the sticker part. Okay, so let's next we're going to remove the two bolts, screws from here and here on either side. So we'll get those out of the way. So that's it for taking that. Now you should be able to just pop this right out of here. It might be a little tricky. You might have to get a knife in there. Just pop out. There we go. And here we go. There's the inside. See, there's the rubber gasket that actually seals the unit itself. I don't see any signs of moisture whatsoever inside. No, none. So yeah, there's the issue I'm thinking where it lies in is this black wire, these wires here that are connecting to the, that would be the coil port. Yeah, the coil port coming out. It's somewhere in here that the wire, this wire here, and there's another wire that goes to a copper strip for ground on the inside. So I think somewhere either in this black wire to the ground is an issue, or the black wire coming over to the copper piece over here. So I'm just going to disconnect this piece here just to get it out of the way. I don't want to be messing with this. Oh, I can't do that because that one doesn't come off. Forgot about that. Okay, we're going to have to leave it on. I forgot this wire here doesn't disconnect. I believe it's a hard soldered in. So what we're going to have to do is I'm going to try to remove this actual connection here for the coil port, and then we're going to try to go in and clean up that ground a little bit. And I want to check the connections, make sure everything's soldered on correctly here. Everything seems okay on this, on the copper side. Now looks like there's a bit of possible corrosion on this side, so maybe I'll just give it a little heat and just give it another remelt for the copper ground area. But let's do that. Let's try to get this piece off here, the connection. So anyway, yeah, that's our goal is just to now just loosen off that nut there on the actual connection, and then we'll get this off, and then we can just verify that everything's looking good here and all the connections are solid. Like I said, when I touched these before, it was just when I touched these wires in here that it would start going crazy. But anyway, okay guys, let me find the proper tool to get that nut removed, and actually a socket won't work. Yeah, I can go over top the wires. And then we'll come back and finish this off and get this thing fixed once and for all. Okay, I am back. Sure, it didn't seem like long for you guys, but it might have been around an hour and a half for me. Of course, I forgot to go ahead and get the proper tool for this. So I'm just going to try to, I do have some needleless pliers. I'm going to see if I can get it with this. Oh, it looks like I might be able to do it. So here's the, I'm thinking is the culprit is this O-ring here, which is the connection to the actual plug for the cable that goes inside, right here. So I'm thinking that I'm going to maybe take a little bit of sandpaper and I'm going to just rough that up a little bit. And the other one is just inside here. Hopefully, I don't know if you guys can make that out or not. There's a little copper, like I guess, tape on the inside here. And the ground is actually soldered to that. I do see a little corrosion around the outside of that, but I'm not sure if that's corrosion or just flux from when they did it. So I'm pretty confident that's probably a good connection. I don't really see anything wrong there. I don't see any loose wires on the ground itself, which is kind of unusual. You think you would. No, it seems like a pretty solid connection. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and maybe just sand off the bottom of this nut and a little bit on that washer, and then we'll put it back together, or maybe just do a dry run on the desk like this before I go through all that effort to close it, and see if that does make a difference and quiet it up a little bit more. I'd kind of like it perfect, and that's kind of what I'm striving for. So anyway, let's I'm gonna have to stop the camera again because I'm gonna have to go find a piece of sandpaper. So of course, you know, why would I remember to get everything? Okay, I found a nice fine old fun and grip piece of sandpaper upstairs. So I'm just going to cut off a little piece just because of the space restrictions in there. Don't want to be trying to get a big old piece in there and start sanding up the circuit board, because that would be bad. So we'll start with the underside of the nut, just in case there's, I can't see there being an issue with that, but I'll just give it a little light. Okay, I got it back on, so now we're just going to go in and we'll tighten it up. I had to fight with that thing. It wasn't cooperating at all. Okay, so there we go. It's nice and snug. So here, let me bring you in here. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with the tape. So I'm not too sure if you guys can still make this out or not, but right here there's a black wire that winds around these green, white, and red ones. And right at the end it just kind of hangs loose, and it's not secured at all to move it around. And that's where I was in here tapping this black wire, is when it was making a lot of chatter. And I'm thinking when I'm moving it, that wire could be moving around causing some chatter. So I'm just going to put a piece of tape just in here just to secure that a little nicer to this winding, just to try to prevent any more movement of that. Okay, since that last attempt didn't work, what I'm going to do now is the copper on here for the ground on the outside of the plastic case. All I'm going to do is I'm just going to remelt that solder in their connection. I'm not going to remove it, I'm just going to remelt it and see if that seats it a little better, and see if that's it. So my soldering iron should be hot enough now. I went and preheated it. Just careful not to hit anything else. And I just want to give it a little melt to see if we can get that to reestablish a better connection, if that's the case. Okay. So let's see if that had any effect. Probably should have taken the batteries out before I did that. Nope, still there. See, that's weird because it's not having the same, it's not doing the same thing it was last time. Okay, let's turn that off. So that didn't do it. Pull the batteries out again. My next step now is I'm just going to undo these connections to the actual board itself. And just take them off and put them on and see if that does anything. If not, I'm kind of at a dead end at that point. Anything up on that, it's going to be... Well, it was worth a shot. I'm not too sure why that worked for me out in the field last time. But like I said, it did keep me going for a little bit. But anything I've done now has had null effect. Okay, well guys, it was worth a shot. Maybe I'll continue tinkering with it and see what else I can come up with, and if I do find anything, I'll bring you back on. Alright, so just give me another 10-15 minutes, if not we'll wrap this up. Okay, so I'll see you guys in a quick sec. Okay, I did a little more fiddling with the Garrett there, and didn't have a whole lot of success, a little bit, but not total success. I went ahead and I re-soldered that copper strip on the inside, that ground wire. I'm still getting a bit of chatter when I'm moving those wires around. So I'm thinking there might be a break in one of the wires or into the actual connection itself on the bottom for the coil. But I taped all the wires up so there's a lot less movement on the inside. And it did make a bit of a difference. I'll turn it on here. And as you can see, it's 2 notches down on the sensitivity and there's no noise at all. I'll crank it up a little bit. See, that's on full and there's nothing. But when I shake it, see, it's back. So, I mean, yeah, see, it was better than that earlier. Yeah, so I'm thinking there's something in the actual connection. So there's not much I can do. Right now I'm 3 notches down. I knocked the threshold down a little bit. Yeah, I can't go any more than 3 notches down. That'd be the highest I can go on the sensitivity. So at this point, I've tried everything that I know what to do inside of that board, other than them actually swapping out the wires and the connection on here. I don't know if that's a part I can order. I'm going to have a look to see if I can actually just order the connector and the actual wire that goes in. That's if the actual connection that goes onto on the CPU board or PCB board if that connector's loose on something, I don't know. So anyway, that's all I can do for now. You know, if anything at all, at least you guys know how to get inside the machine and take a look for yourself. It's not difficult. The only scary and tricky part about the whole thing is just taking off that front plastic cover plate. I put it back on for now. Like I said, I'm going to have to get some more adhesive, and what I'll do is I'll strip the old adhesive off of this, and then I'll just re-adhesive around the outside, just so there's no water getting between the inside the screen here. Whoops, let me turn it off. So, if anyone, I've seen a lot of comments about people seeing some kind of like rainbow effect or something that's on the screen here. What that's going to be is there's probably going to be some sort of air break or something underneath the actual plastic sticker that goes on here. So using the same step and being careful to peel it up, you could probably take that off and then reseal it with some sort of adhesive on the actual sticker, putting it back on, just making sure not to put any adhesive on the actual clear part where you're going to see the actual numbers and everything. So anyway, guys, thanks a lot for being here again. Once again, as always, if you guys can head down, hit the subscribe button, share, like, that would help me out a lot. The good news is I'm really, really close to getting to my 10,000 views. And for you guys who aren't aware of it or don't know, that YouTube changed their policy a little while back, just when I started getting my channel going there, that they wouldn't monetize the accounts until 10,000 views. And it was kind of disappointing for me. You know, it was right at the point where I lost my job. And not that there's a lot of income on this, but anything would help. So, yeah, it turned out they demonetized my channel. I freaked all out, didn't know why it was happening. And then it turned out they changed their policy on that. So, I'm almost there. I'm this close. I just need you guys to, you know, share the heck out of this video and you know, all that good stuff. Like it, you know, comments, whatever. That'd be great. Love you guys for being here. It's fantastic. You guys are awesome. The comments you guys give are just fantastic, so keep them coming. And I will see you on the next video. I believe I actually, I mentioned when I did the electrolysis tank that I'd give an update on the change that I put in there. It turned out somebody, I'm not going to point any fingers or names, me, may have blew up the power supply. Had nothing to do with the electrolysis. I did something stupid while I was messing with it, and I fried it. But anyway, that was my fault. So I'm just working on trying to get another power supply. I think I kind of burned through all the ones I had laying around. I have one now. I have a laptop one, but it's I'm pretty sure the things on the outside say it's a DC, but it's got 3 wires instead of 2. So I'm just trying to figure out the wiring on that, and hopefully I can get that nailed down today, and I'll get it rewired back up and see if it works. Because I'd really like to get that electrolysis working again. I got a lot of stuff I want to get cleaned up, and you know, it's driving me insane not being able to do it with that thing right now. So anyway, guys, I'll see you on the next one. You guys have a great day, great night, afternoon, whatever it may be when you're watching this. All right, and for the guys across the pond, keep digging. I love seeing your guys' stuff. All that old stuff that we can't get here is fantastic. You know, hammered coins. Oh, dream wish right there. Bucket lister. All right, guys, we'll see you on the next one.